Hey, everybody. Things are getting crazier and crazier regarding Trump's predilection to hang out with racists and Nazis because he is both. I keep hearing the Republican leadership saying something that is incredibly, well, it's right on point. They just don't, apparently they don't realize it when they say it. But I've heard several leading Republican politicians in the past few days commenting on Trump's dinner with these son of a bitches. And they keep saying, the Republicans, the white Republicans keep saying, there's no room in the Republican Party for racists or anti-Semites. And the first time I heard it, I thought, yeah, that's really true. And the reason for that is because the Republican Party is already full to the brim with racists and anti-Semites. Of course, there's no more room. They've already taken all the room with in the Republican Party, the Nazis, the racists, the son of a bitches, the life-hating individuals. So, of course, no, they're absolutely right. There is no room in the Republican Party. Now, of course, the Republican Party is dead. It's a walking corpse, not unlike the Walking Dead. It is a corpse. It has been replaced by the Christian Fascist Party. And that party has its subdivisions. You have the Christian Terrorist Party. And then you have the part of the Christian Fascist Party that's run by people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and that would be the Christian Demon Party. But it just cracks me up that they say, well, there's no room in the Republican Party for anti-Semites or racists. Absolutely not. Y'all are so goddamn full. It's like trying to squeeze one more person into the subway car. It's just not going to happen, right? Oh, and then this Herschel Walker thing here in Georgia. It's just dumbfounding to me that all these white people are voting for Herschel Walker simply so they can own the libs. They don't seem to understand that if Herschel Walker were to be one of the senators from Georgia, it would make Georgia look like the backwater dumb shit place that it always has been until we started getting rid of some of these Republican demons. But that's beside the point. You know, the white people here in Georgia just don't give a shit. But what really intrigues me about the Republican Party backing Herschel Walker is that backing goes against everything the Republican Party has come to stand for since the days of Strom Thurmond. And what the Republican Party stands for is racism, totally anti-African American, always has been, always will be. No, don't tell me about Abraham Lincoln. It was a whole different world then, the political parties had different meanings, yada, 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 yada. But the Republican Party, I'll use that term, although I'm talking about a corpse, it has always been against black people. It has always been against abortion. It has always claimed to be against lying. It has always claimed to be against having children out of wedlock. It's always claimed to be, you see what I'm saying? Against. And yet Herschel Walker has displayed over and over during this runoff campaign and during the general election campaign that he is a lying son of a bitch who is the exact opposite of everything that the Republican Party leadership has always claimed they were all about. The hypocrisy on Herschel Walker's candidacy just stinks. It stinks like a rotting corpse. Now, let me ask you something very ugly. Have you ever smelled a rotting or decaying human body? If you've ever smelled that, you'll never forget it. Never forget it. That's what Herschel Walker's campaign smells like here in Georgia. It's horrifying, just horrifying. But the Republican Party, always ready to champion any kind of perversion, sickness, twisted philosophy, demonology, racism, fascism, anything they will embrace in order to get or retain political power. One of the ads running here in Georgia for this dumb fuck Herschel Walker, is one with the governor here, the dumb fuck white man, Brian Kemp. And Brian Kemp says some things in this ad that I guess he doesn't realize what he's saying. But he said, Herschel Walker will always do what Georgia, I think it says what Georgia tells him to do, or what Georgia wants him to do. And what the white man, Brian Kemp, is saying is that the Negro, Herschel Walker, will do exactly what the white masters tell him to do. Now, that's been a given from the beginning. We know that. Herschel Walker, I don't care if he's black or white, he is the dumbest fucker ever. He may not be the most criminal, the most venal, but he is the dumbest son of a bitch ever to run for the United States Senate anywhere on earth. Well, it had to be in this country, wouldn't it? And the white people who control him know that. And they also know that if they can just somehow shoehorn Herschel Walker into the United States Senate, he will do exactly what he is told to do by his white masters. What a shame. What a shame that this dead political party can display such overt racism, such overt attitude of plantation politics with this poor fucker, Herschel Walker. He hasn't been on the campaign trail for the past week here in Georgia. And I think it's because he's finally starting to realize what the white people are trying to do to him, the white Republicans. They are putting him out there. His entire personal life has been just exposed in front of the whole fucking world to see that he's a liar, a cheat, a womanizer. He promotes abortion. He lies about law enforcement. He lies about how many employees. He's just a fucking liar. I mean, but, you know, this is in the Trump mode. Trump would never hire somebody or back somebody who told the truth. I mean, come on. But poor old Herschel, this aging football player, I think has finally realized, which would be one of the reasons he's just not been on the campaign trail. Maybe he's sick of people asking him when he shows up at these events, what about the women that you forced to have abortions, you hypocritical fuck? What about when you said you're a member of law enforcement? You've never been a member of any law enforcement. What about when you said you graduated college? You never graduated. What about when you said you were valedictorian and how you never were? I mean, maybe poor old Herschel has had enough ripping and tearing by white folks that he's decided to retreat and say, fuck it, I didn't want to be senator anyway. I don't know, but I would think if Herschel hasn't had enough of the abuse that his own life has shown that he perpetrated against other people and himself, then I guess he's going to continue to campaign these last 4 or 5 days, but he sure has disappeared for about the past 6 days. Poor Herschel. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.